Oh, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up? Mute that. What's up, everybody? We got I'm gonna do something, and it's gonna be probably the last time that I talk about this topic all week. This topic has been hot since Tuesday night, and I think that this is a topic that is going to continue to play out throughout the year. You know, in January, a lot of things happen. December, January, things happen in those months that you see a lot of those themes playing out. Remember, was it 2023 or 24 when Cat Williams had the interview with Shannon Sharp, and you saw how the year started that year with Cat and Shannon Sharp, and it's usually the comedians that oftentimes you gotta look at the artists and entertainers, and either on the high side or the low side, they set off themes. Not every year, but you got to pay attention when it does. And you remember 2024 or 23, I forgot which year it was, that Cat had that interview with Shannon Sharp. That whole year was exposure. But I also had read in the card reading, if you guys have been here, a week before Cat Williams' interview on Shannon Sharp, it was 23 because it was that Seven of Hearts year. So that was 24, 2020, 2023, whatever that Seven of Hearts year was. That's the year that this popped off. And I was like, we're going to be, it was a 7 hearts, 8 hearts. This is going to be a lot of exposure. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. So yeah, 8 of hearts here. And it's funny because Anton's an 8 of diamonds, but we'll get to that. Um, we saw that this was going to be a lot of exposure. And all throughout that year, 2024, you saw a lot of things coming out. That was the election year. A lot of Kamala Harris's BS that she had was coming out. A lot of what was really going on and politically, a lot of stuff started to get exposed. This year, 2026, Ten of Hearts year, is a year of direct confrontation. Did we not, chat room, press the number 1 if you were in this chat 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when I said this is the year of direct confrontation? Did I not read that? So now in January, we have a direct confrontation that blows up, and it's been the talk of the internet for the last 4 days now. And if you're on Patreon, for those of you on my Patreon subscribers, this is also being broadcast over on Patreon. I will be taking questions from my Patreon people. So if you're on the Patreon, when I get to the part where I'm answering questions, I will be answering questions from the Patreon audience, okay? And those of you who are on Patreon, y'all know what to do. Oh, come on, now I'm trying to move the screen over. They won't move. God damn it! Don't y'all hate when that happens? You trying to move something on your desktop and that thing don't want to move? There we go. There we go. All right, so that's what we're gonna be doing today. The theme of this year is direct confrontation, Ten of Hearts, and we're going to do a reading, a relationship reading. What's the relationship between these two? How is this going to play out in the cards? And this can be a microcosm for how things are going to play out this year. I said in my show a couple of days ago when I was live from outside when I did my late night live, I said that this won't end well for Anton if he plays this tough route. The tough route ain't the way for him to go. If he the intellectual route isn't necessarily the way for him to go either, because that will make intellectuals check out the substance of what he did, and if intellectuals listen to what he was saying, you'll find that he's exposing himself for being a lack of an intellectual, and he's also exposing himself for being the person that he speaks against. When he talks about all these niggas, because if Corey hit him, the whole thing would be, I told you these niggas can't act right. But since with Corey not hitting him, he has to spin it. And this whole thing with him, playing the tough guy act, you like attract like. You attract what you put out. So if you put out tough guy, you attract that energy. So although he executed his game plan very well, the way he's handling this, I don't know if he's definitely getting the bag from handling it. He's gonna make the most money he probably ever made this month of January on YouTube and all of his different social media accounts. But like my dad used to always tell me, all money ain't good money. And the way he's playing his cards, let's see, we're gonna get into his cards to see how he should play his cards. And then we're gonna get into Corey's cards and see what's going on in that situation. And then what we gonna do is after we play these cards and go through these cards, we're going to see what it looks like in combination. So let me put their birthdays in. I should have already had this. Let's see their birthday. But I'll be doing my card readings fresh. I don't really prepare for these card. I do them the same way I do a reading. I just jump right into it. Okay, so we're looking at 6/23, 68, 06, 23, 1968. All right, put that in there and put in Anton. And this is for just entertainment purposes, everybody. I don't, I'm not predicting the future or nothing like that. I'm just using the cards to check the temperature, the social climate as to what goes on. That's what cards are. These playing cards, they are a weather test. It's understanding time and place. Four sweets equals the four seasons of the year. Red and black pips, red being the feminine, black being the masculine, which also equates to positive and negative. 13 cards in each suite signifies the 13 weeks in every season of the year. 52 cards plus one, 52 weeks in the year, plus the Joker. The Joker represents the number 0. So that's why we say 52 cards, because Joker represents 0. And yeah. So let me see here. April 13th. That's what I see here. I see. Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw a Facebook post. So April 13th. So let's break all of this down, my friend. So let's go into Anton's cards first. Yickety. All right. So he's an 8 of diamonds, king of spades, with the king of spades in Mercury. That's the authoritative speak. And that's why he did such a good job on this thing with Corey. He spoke sort of in alignment with his way of speaking, and that's very authoritative. King of Spades is the most authoritative card in the deck. Now, what he said was a bunch of bullshit, but that's secondary. Most people don't listen to the substance of what people have to say. They, for the most part, focus on how you say it. And that's why, like, even like what I do, sometimes it can be frustrating because when I present ideas to y'all, I'm very thorough. Like, if you notice when I teach, I don't teach from a card point of view. Like, the cards this is spirit. It's two different worlds between the spirit world and the human world. And you got to be able to, in my opinion, live in both worlds, but understand and recognize which world you're in. You can't be on earth with some old high-minded, I'm spiritual and let the spirit work it out. No, nigga, you got to pick up the hammer, you got to pick up the nail, and you got to drive that hammer and nail into the wood if you want to build a house. You can't say, oh, spirit showed me a house, and I'm going to believe in spirit, and spirit's going to build a house for me. No, fool. You got to build the house. The only thing spirit do is say, hey, look, it's a good idea. This woompty wham, boomty bam, this is probably where you need to be, and this is how I'm going to get you there. And once spirit reveals to you where you need to be and how to get there, it's your goddamn job to do it. It's like driving down the road. If you want to get to grandmama's house, you got to go over the river and through the woods. To grandmama's house you go. You got to put foot to pavement. You dig? That's how I approach cards. And that's why I don't have too many friends that read cards and do astrology and stuff, because most of these niggas is too mystical for my taste. Oh, today's a number 7 day, and it's because it's a number 7 day, I have to do this, and that's... I ain't got time for that shit. I just go to the cards when I want to get deeper insight to what I'm living in my life. But so that's, I don't know even why I went on that little tangent, but that's how I see cards. Y'all can see it the way y'all see it. But King of Spades, that shows that Anton is walking in alignment, and that's why he's so successful at what he does. See, he's an 8 of diamonds. The personality for an 8 of diamonds is the shine. The 8 of diamonds is all about shining. 8 of diamonds, people gotta shine, and they gotta draw the attention to themselves. That's what 8 of diamonds is about. It's about drawing. They're all about drawing. They usually dress really nice. They speak well, or they'll go the opposite. If they don't dress nice, they dress in ways that get attention to them. They may do something like wear a headband or walk around looking like dressed like Shona from The Last Dragon, doing something to where it's just you gotta look at me. It's a very look at me style card. And it's in alignment when it speaks with authority. See, then he has that 3 of hearts in his Venus. So that shows that his talent he's multi-talented. 3 of hearts meaning he can get passionate about many different things and execute those different things pretty well. You know, I see that too. But it also can be a card that pushes the boundaries, emotional boundaries. And that's where when he went at Corey, this is where his Venus card won out of Corey's Venus card. Venus is lifestyle. Venus sets the tone. Venus card is a tone that sets the tone of your environment. And the 3 of hearts is a master at pushing emotional boundaries. He can read it. He can feel it. Ace of clubs. Ace of clubs is his Mercury card. So that shows you one of his weaknesses is isolation. Yeah, he can say one thing, but he has people around him. That Ace of clubs, it's all about getting to know itself, being solid within itself. Now, when I say weaknesses, I'm gonna say it this way: it's only a weakness if you don't want to address it. The whole point of Mars, I'm sorry, your Mars card. The whole point of your Mars card is a challenge. It's a challenge for you to address. That shows that he has to address himself from within. But when you see somebody that's an 8 of diamonds spending all of their time to grow a perception from the out, that's an indication that they haven't dealt with the thing from within. And then you see that Mars card, I'm sorry, that Jupiter card, a Queen of Clubs, teacher. And he teaches a lot. Very judgmental. He's very judgmental. He has a Saturn card of a 10 of spades. Hard worker. Hard worker. But it's a person that expects a lot from other people, probably more than is reasonable for them to expect. all which basically leads to a lifelong life of frustration because people aren't going to meet the bars that you set for them, and a lot of that frustration is due to you not reaching your bar from within. So let me see here. Let me look into Anton's yearly spread. Okay. Fixation, Mercury, 8 of clubs is his Mercury card. Fixation. Queen of heart, Venus, passion. It also shows, even though the outpouring of passion, you see it coming, the weakness behind that is being able to strike an emotional chord. This is where Corey messed up. His inroad was to hit him back with his beliefs in a joking fashion. If Corey played on that, because Corey got the best Christian jokes you can find. You're ever going to hear in comedy. Had Corey right there, when I see that, um, when I see that vulnerability, that Queen of Hearts, your inroad right there is to cut at the perception, at the persona, not fight it, cut it. That's where, if Corey figures this part out, that's where he can change the opinion of others. Is to cut at the facade, because now the back thing would be cutting at the facade is also at the same time going to make Anton grow louder with what he's saying. So it's a twofold. What do you know? But that's what happens when people are emotionally challenged. They're going to grow louder. If you notice, when he was talking to Corey, his voice was getting very high pitched. Corey had him, but Corey allowed his emotion to get in his way. And had he been more reserved and did what a comedian does, that would have ended him. And then I see that Jack of Spades. See, this right here, y'all. This right here is where it's going to be a problem. Anton's Mars card for the year is a Jack of Spades. The Jack of Spades is the preaching deceiver. And the reason why that's in the Mars position is because when something's in your Mars position, that means that's going to be your challenge. Not talking out of bounds, because the Jack of Spades wants to talk out of bounds. That's what it wants to do. It wants to say whatever. It's the ultimate salesman card. The Jack of Spades. It's a salesman. Well, Jack of Clubs more so the salesman, but all the Jacks are salesmen. But the Jack of Spades sells wisdom. See, where his success in this year, long-term success, will be if Anton flips to selling wisdom. If he's selling wisdom, then that's something that would keep him sort of spiritually protected. But so far, he's not selling wisdom. He's selling rah, 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 which brings in that Jack of Diamonds in Jupiter. Deceptive. Don't watch what the Jack of Diamonds say, watch what it does. If you notice, it's been a whole bunch of I'm high-minded, I'm intellectual. But when you watch how dude is moving, is anything but high-minded. It's anything but intellectual. It's very gutter behavior, the way he's actually acting out in a gutter way. But those jacks allow you to do that. But there's a consequence to it when someone pulls that card. The card to pull on him will be to correlate his behavior with his words. Is that Christian-like to come on somebody else's show with an agenda to do what you did, to be deceptive? Is that Christian-like? Or is it Christian-like? What kind of Christian are we talking about? Remember, when it comes to imperialism, imperialists always come with missionaries. You got the missionary and the imperialist. What side of Christianity is he playing on? And is it conscious? Very, very key questions. So this is, what's going on, how his cards are playing out. And if you're over on Patreon, I'll get to you. If y'all have any questions on Patreon side, I'll say, Aaron, you don't have any questions? Okay, cool. What's up, Dana, over on Patreon? That's where the questions are going to come from over there. Oh, and also in the super chat. Let's see, super chat. Jacoby says, Anton crossed the line and keeps bragging on how he would have put pause on Corey. Exactly. That's where he's attracting a spiritual animal I'm not sure he's ready to deal with. That's where he's making his mistake. You said Coon's getting press. I'm loving the energy. That's right, Ariel Smoke. Salute to you. So, one thing that he's exposing of himself is Anton is not the intellectual that he's making himself to be. And that's where he's going to run into problems. And if Corey or whoever gets to that first, and if Corey exploits that, Corey can flip this whole thing. And that's where Anton is running into, he's going to potentially run into problems. He did his so-called expose on a comedian. Now, had he done the same expose on one of these internet tough guys, had he gone on to one of these podcasts, one of these Adam 22 style podcasts, and talked to one of to Gangstalicious on Adam 22 or whoever, and he done the same thing and the same outcome, he'd have far more equity because he would have gone into the belly of the beast of the tough guys and exposed the tough guys. That's where he would have some sort of a spiritual protection. But you came on some tough guy stuff, exposing somebody who's not a tough guy, who's a comedian. And comedians who do their job well, like a Cat Williams, when he was choked out by that kid, they know how to flip these things. But that's going to come into how Corey plays his cards. Now let's get into how Corey, what happened with Corey's cards. Let's get into that. What are Corey's cards? See, now here we go. Let's see what's in Corey's cards and what he needs to do to play this the way he needs to be played. These are Corey's overall life cards. I'm going to read a few of his life cards and I'm going to get into his yearly cards. 7 of Clubs, card of the mental warrior. Corey is a mental warrior. And he knows that's why his sole style of comedy is calling things out and exposing things. He's in alignment with his calling when he does it in the comedic fashion. He knows how to expose truth and talk about controversial subjects through comedy. His Mercury card is a 5 of diamonds. That means he can go back and forth between the comedy world and the real world, like pulling from the real world and interpreting the real world into a comedic experience. That's what the diamond deals with. With him having a diamond in Mercury, Corey speaks, his speech is grounded in tangible reality. Now the thing with the 5 part is it can flip. The 5 is very creative. So the 5 can come from any angle that you may not see coming, but it has to be rooted in reality. Corey's Venus card is a Queen of Spades. So that means Anton has a King of Spades, and he has a Queen of Spades in that position. And with the Queen of Spades, it has a lot of the same gifts as the King of Spades. But with the Queen of Spades, when it comes to that, Corey's the issue with the Queen of Spades is judgment and thinking it knows it all. I see where Corey messed up right here in this Queen. He messed up right here in this Queen of Spades. He judged Anton in a particular way, but he judged it in a way that he can come and maybe show the light and help Anton see the light. See, Corey thought he was going to help Anton see the light. And the truth of the matter is, let's go back to Anton's cards. He has a king of spades in his Mercury. Even if you show him the light, he's not going to admit it. You got to make him feel something. He has that Queen of Spades. You got to make him feel something. You can't show this dude anything. Because with that King of Spades, he already thinks he knows it. And he studies. That's why he studied. He studied because his studying is what showed his vulnerability. Hold on, Rocky, knocking on this door. Hold on. Come on, Rocky. Come on. Rocky over here knocking on the door. What's up, baby boy? What's up, baby boy? Rocky heard me talking to y'all, and he was knocking on the door. He was scratching that door like, "Let me in." What's up, Rocky? You see the people? You see the people, homeboy? All right. You in here now? You gonna go to sleep? All right. We're not gonna hear from Rocky the rest of the show. This nigga about to lay down and well, he might want to leave at some point. It's sunny outside. Well, back to what we're talking about. So you coming in with this Queen of Spades thinking you're gonna teach somebody that know it all. That's mistake number 2. You judged, but you judged incorrectly. Because when you go back and watch the show, the first 10 minutes, Anton was cussing, and Corey's like, I get it. You could tell he's trying to massage it, but you weren't ready for what he was ready to bring. And the challenge is that Jack of Clubs. See, that Jack of Clubs right there in Mars, that was when I'm looking at the cards of the situation, Corey was really trying to play it nice. He was really being respectful, and he was really trying to play it nice. But there were a lot of like microaggressions, a lot of small cuts that Anton was doing that, I don't think Corey saw coming. But this is where Anton is going to have an issue. Corey's blessed, like where he's at his best in life, is using adverse situations and turning them into comedy. But for Corey to reach this, he'd have to settle down and relax. He cannot approach this from an anger point of view. If Corey approaches this from an anger point of view, like a malicious point of view, it can work against him. But when I say malicious, I mean comedy out of mouth. Corey's comedy comes from his relaxed state. And like most comedians, you're naturally funny. You're born funny. You're funny before you ever touch a stage. And funny just flows. If Corey sits down and gets into his funny side, because that 5 of diamonds, again, that can go either side. He can go in rage mode, war mode, and make the mistake he made, like with Tasha K. That was one of the mistakes that he made when Tasha K said that nonsense about him, and he went in rage mode. He can go in rage mode. Rage mode won't work well for Corey. But if Corey goes into making sketches, creating songs, writing, doing comedy about it, Anton's not going to be able to handle that because laughter trumps in whatever intellect, and Anton's not an intellectual. He's like a mega preacher. He preaches intellectual. He's not really an intellectual, so he doesn't have that to go to. That's just a play that he uses on stupid people. The intellectual side, it's just a play. It's a play. But if Corey goes funny, Corey, this is all going to work in his favor. The nigga said Anton the Saucy Santana stunt double. Damn. He said at this point, Aiden Ross needs to set the boxing. Nah, I don't want them to box on Aiden Ross's channel. They need to box on their own. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. So now let's break down how this is going to turn out. The relationship part between the two. Let's read there. Oh, okay. They have a two of hearts relationship. Two of hearts means a surface level, like base level connection. But it's also the type of connection. It's a kind of connection that actually, in concert, could work well together, but it would require balance on both ends. This relationship obviously has no balance. And so that's where we can go into reading the low side of a card. You can go into reading the low side of a card when you see how the card is being played. So let's go into a two of hearts. So this is a two of hearts relationship. King of Hearts, Mercury. So this for this relationship, to whoever's going to play this, how the cards of the relationship are going to play out for whoever's going to succeed in this back and forth. The King of Hearts is the person that captures the hearts of the people. So Corey's route through comedy would be capturing the hearts of the people through comedy. Anton's route will be capturing the hearts of the people through logic. Because he presents himself as a logical person. And that's where I can see off top, he's playing his cards wrong. He's he's presenting himself as a tough guy, not the master of logic. If he plays the master of logic card, he's going to do a better job communicating this to the people. Corey has to play the master of comedy card. You got to play your own card. That's why knowing who you are, knowing your birth date, knowing your chart matters. Because whenever you're faced with adverse situations, you're going to win by being you. You're going to lose when you step outside of yourself. That's why Corey lost the initial public perception thing on a larger level. I'm not talking about us in the chat and people that we know on algorithms that favor our algorithms. I went out the last couple nights and I've been listening to this with people who aren't paying attention, people who don't know neither side, those who've only watched the clips. I'm speaking about those, and that's the majority. Corey lost the public perception to the clip watchers. So far. But that's because Corey stepped outside of his comedic genius and went into street mode. And when you're in your late 50s, I'm sure 22-year-old, 32-year-old, and Corey talked about this on 5150, it's a different thing. The older you get, the more this logic, the more this prefrontal cortex gets more online. It gets more dominant than your limbic brain. You know, I'm pretty sure that was a second guessing, but the move would have been not to not make the move at all. But it was an instinctful move. Now, the Venus card is the King of Diamonds. Both people are going to make a lot of money off this. Anton think he ruined Corey. Everybody's waiting to hear what Corey has to say. And Corey's going to make everybody wait until Tuesday. And Corey's going to make you come to his shows. And to hear and to see. This is going to both people. King of Diamonds is the banker card. This is something that it was with this being a card of their relationship, it was almost predestined for them to make money off of this. They're gonna make money together, but you see, you can make money positively, you can make it negatively. Need both sides. Positive, negatives are just states of being. They're not good or bad. Negative is negative, positive is positive. Positive don't equate to good, negative don't equate to bad. This was a negative situation that's having a money positive result. The Mars card is Six of Hearts. That shows that somebody has to get their heart broken for this money to work. Somebody got to be disappointed. And so it took this kind of clash for the money to work. The Saturn card to this is the Two of Diamonds. Another way another thing that's going to help whoever wins the long term comes down to that Two of Diamonds. And then Two of Diamonds is reasonable. It's balanced logic, balanced thought. It's leveling things out, and leveling things out on a plain earthly side. So if Corey one brings in comedy with balance and logic, he's going to win the long term perception of this. If Anton uses like I said, he can't quite use the intellect thing. Like I said before, because anybody who's intellectual will just listen to his train of thought and be like, this guy's stupid. I was watching the dude Marquette. I was watching Marquette's breakdown. That shit was funny. And I had the same conclusion he had. Like, this guy's dumb. So the intellect part won't work, but being the person of reason, that will work for him. If Anton brings I'm the man of reason, and I did this to show you reason, and he stays like humble about it. That's the way. If he played his cards that way, he'd have the long-term win. But so far, that's not how he's playing his cards. So that's why I say, if you play your cards right, everything is gonna be all right. Oh no, let me go back to the relationship. Let me go back to the relationship. So let's go back. Let's go into the perception. Okay. Oh. See, right here. You know what this reminds me of? And Corey didn't like his special. But go back to Dave Chappelle, not the special he just did. Go back to his previous special. Y'all remember Dave Chappelle's special when he talked about, are you living in your dream or somebody else's dream? Press number 1 if you remember. Press number 1 if you remember that Dave Chappelle special about living in a dream. Appreciate that. Yeah, support the chat and hit the cash app $DewanB1. But y'all remember that Dave Chappelle special when he talked about whose dream are you living in? What happened was Corey was living in Anton's dream on his own show, and he didn't recognize that. Anton came with an agenda that he executed well. And he didn't recognize whose dream he was in. And Anton's dream is the one that won out. Because Anton recognized he was in his own dream, and Corey didn't see that. This right here is the perception card. See, I said Anton's point of view card is the 10 of diamonds. 10 of diamonds is the center of attention. It attracts. It gets noticed. So Anton's point of view on this interaction, on this relationship, was to draw attention to himself and to his platform. The thing is, with that 10 of diamonds, again, going back to how you play your cards, the weakness of a 10 of diamonds, the weakness of a 10 of diamonds, let me show y'all, is right there, that Saturn 5 of hearts. The 10 of diamonds presents like this, but on the inside, it's very vulnerable of judgment and very sensitive to judgment and being hurt. It's very sensitive to being hurt. And Corey can't hurt him by out toughing him. Corey can hurt him by making a mockery of him. So although the 10 of diamonds is very rah, 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 and he got what he want, the vulnerability to that, the putty inside the shell is embarrassment. It's embarrassment. So when I go back to that, and now I go to Corey, his point of view is a 9 of clubs. That meant his point of view was to teach and to show the light. See, the 9 of clubs likes to show everybody else that it's an expert. It likes to put on it's very bombastic. It's going to teach, but it's going to teach whether you listen or not. Corey's thing, which is a reflection of ego. Corey's point of view was, I'm going to teach. I'm going to show you something. Anton's point of view was, I'm going to get exposure. That's why, like I got some stuff going on in business right now that it's in certain people, certain players, and because I don't pull cards unless I feel it. I got some offline stuff going on right now that I'm gonna have to pull the cards on sometime this weekend and get clarity as to what's going on. I don't just read cards willy-nilly. That's not my style. There are other card readers who read everything. I don't read shit until I feel a gumption inside of me to read something. Or something happened that made me go, that's when I personally put out the cards. Those of you who I've taught cards, when I teach cards, I always tell people, always have respect for the cards. You don't use cards to manipulate people. You don't use cards to harm people. You don't use cards in that fashion. Nor should you ever live your life by the cards. You shouldn't be looking at cards every damn day saying, well, this is how the day's going to turn out because it's going to be a 10 of diamonds day and I'm going to get the... No, you don't do that. You live your life and you allow life to happen around you. But if you have questions for deeper insight, that's when you consult the cards. That's when you call somebody like me for a reading. It's because you've gotten some kind of a gumption inside of you that made you go like, And on Patreon, if you're on Patreon, I do answer simple questions about once a week, once every other week when people, if you're on the $15 tier. If you're on a $50 tier, you get once a month, you get a short 10-minute reading just for quick questions. And if you're on the $125 a month tier, you get a full reading a month. You get a 45-minute reading every month, personal. But do it as you feel. Do it as you feel. But the cards are not something that you use to manipulate. They're not something that you use to manipulate situations and manipulate people for a negative outcome Or you can, or I'll tell you that, you can do that, but you can also suffer the karmic consequences that come along with it. Because this is a very powerful thing, and this isn't something to be played with. When you play, I don't fuck around with spirit. I don't even want to. I don't even want to know the results of the negative side of using this stuff. I don't even want to know the results of this shit. So I don't play around. But I do get deeper insight. And you can get a reading or if you just want to get a reading one off without becoming a Patreon member, you can book at breakthroughcards.com. Breakthroughcards.com. That website is in the description. Breakthroughcards.com. That's where you can book your reading. That's where you book your reading. I'm sorry, I said 45. You get a 30-minute reading on the higher tier on Patreon. 30, not 45. But that's what you get. And if you're on Patreon, if you're on those tiers, it's up to you to book the reading. I'm not going to hit you up and be like, hey, what day? You got to inbox me on Patreon if you're on one of those tiers to get access. But going back to Corey's card, Corey's point of view is the point of view of the teacher. The issue with the Nine of Clubs oftentimes is it oftentimes cannot get out of its own way. It's a great teacher card, and it teaches best when it gets out of its own way. The challenge to a Nine of Clubs is getting out of its own way. So you see right here, Corey came in with the point of view of teaching, and it was a whole nother thing going on right in front of him that he didn't see, because his point of view was, I'm going to teach. Anton's point of view was, I'm going to flip this into some money. You're not going to teach somebody trying to flip something into money. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do something I haven't done in a long time. I'm going to do the rubric. I'll say, so Corey was a 7 of clubs. Anton is an 8 of diamonds. The combo card is 2 of hearts. The point of view is 9 of clubs. And then 10 of diamonds. Okay. I wasn't even going to do this, but I'm going to go even deeper to see how this is going to turn out. Because I haven't done one of these kind of readings in a long time. Okay. What is the 10 of diamonds? The 9 of clubs is the 22nd card. 22. The 10 of diamonds is a 36 card plus 36. 22. Bear with me, y'all. I'll show you guys my notes for my card students. 22 plus 36 is 58. 58 minus 52 is 6. The 6th card is a 6 of hearts. Okay, so now we are at a 6 of hearts. I'm sorry, I'm going through, I have to pull here it is. The 6 of hearts is the attraction card. So this particular thing that brought them together was 6 of hearts. That is the card of Christmas. It's a card of, it's one of the heartbreak cards. It's one of the cards of disappointment. Oh, that makes sense though, because Anton's whole point of view was, I'm coming to change the perception. Again, that shows that Corey was living in Anton's dream. That 6 of hearts. I'm sorry, my mic's off far away. My bad. That six of hearts is the card of, I'm coming to teach a harsh lesson. Yeah. Let me go back to the solar values table. So let me get that. Six of hearts is six. Six plus what's the seven of clubs? Seven of clubs is 20. Six plus seven of clubs. 20 plus six is 26. King of clubs. Okay, now six plus Anton's card is a eight of diamonds. Eight of diamonds is 34. 6 plus 34 is 40. The 40th card in the deck is Ace of Spades. Okay. So now we get to the point of weakness card. The weakness on Corey's side, the weakness in the dynamic was King of Clubs, trying to set the law. Corey would have known, if you're going to try to be the one establishing the law through conflict, that's going to be a weakness. You got to set it through comedy, not conflict. Ace of Spades, the weakness for Anton with Ace of Spades is deception. Corey was too honest with his intent. They both were honest with their intent, but let me tell you, he wasn't too honest. They both were honest with their intentions. The difference is Anton listened to Corey's intention, teaching. Corey did not listen to Anton's intent of basically doing this for the bag. I'm gonna show you something. And when I say listen to intent, not what was said before the show. The pattern of behavior the first 20 minutes of the show before it got to that blow up point. Anton was showing you through how he was moving. He was moving like he was going to establish dominance. That's how he was moving. But it was deceptive because it wasn't to actually be dominant. It was to pull the dominant to pull what you would do out. And so he pulled Corey's card in that way. Now let's get to the King of Clubs, 26 plus what's the Ace of Spades? Ace of Spades is 40. 26 plus 40 is 66. 66 minus 52 for, I'm doing 14. 56 minus 52 is 14. The 14th card in the deck is an Ace of Clubs. So that shows me the conflict card between the two was a conflict in ideologies. That was their conflict, the conflict in ideologies. Let me get down to the end because I want to get to the benefit card and the purpose card and the resolution card. Let's see here. Ace of Clubs is 40. 40 plus the seven of clubs is 20. 40 plus 20 is 60. 60 minus 52 is 8. So eight of hearts for Corey. On the resolution card, 8 of hearts. For Anton, his resolution card is 8 of diamonds, 34. Let me see. 34 plus ace of clubs. Ace of clubs is 14. 14 plus 34 is, there we go, 48. The 48th card in the deck is a nine of clubs, nine of spades, nine of spades. So when it comes down to the resolution card, let me see, let me see, 1, 2, 3, I'm 4 down. 4 is a conflict resolution card. The conflict resolution card, 8 of hearts for Corey. The conflict resolution, what's going to resolve this for Corey is going to be being very upfront and being forthcoming, and he's very good at that. When you saw how he messed up with Zoe, when you saw Corey's actually, the resolution is within alignment of how he's handled past situations. The times that he's come out and he just like was just completely honest, complete honesty. The resolution for Anton, nine of spades, is going to be to push his ego to the side and reapproach the situation with a more honest breakdown of what happened. He's trying to run with a narrative that didn't quite happen that way. This, humbleness and being straightforward is what's going to be his resolution to the conflict. Corey's resolution to the conflict is going to be an eight of hearts, which is an opening of emotion and an opening of honesty and showing where you fucked up and where you need to do better from your own point of view. Now, let's get to, and that's also going to be the benefit. That's going to be the benefit to Corey. The benefit to Corey is going to be people are going to connect with him because a lot of people saw what happened and they saw the bullshit that happened. So the benefit to Corey, he's going to benefit a lot from just being honest about and not denying what we all saw, but leaning into what we all saw and flipping it back into how he communicates best, and that's through comedy. That's how he's going to benefit from this. And he's going to make a lot of money from it too, if he plays his cards that way. Anton, in order for him to have a long-term success, is going to be to take the wisdom from this and show humility from it. Taking the wisdom and showing humility from it. That's what's something that's going to ultimately help him. Now, let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you put these two cards together. The 8 of hearts is 8. 9 of spades is 48. 48 plus 8 is 56. 56 minus 52 is 4. So 4 hearts. The ultimate purpose of this particular negative interaction was for people to get honest and real about how you ground yourself. Both sides have to get honest and real about where they are emotionally. Emotions could have settled a lot of this conversation, a settlement of where people are in an emotional state. The emotional person, the person that showed the least amount of emotion, won the public perception battle. And I'm talking about amongst the casual people who aren't invested in either side, who barely know either side. But let's get into the final result. And this is the card that I care about the most. This final result. How is this shit gonna all the way play out? Let's see here. 4 hearts is 4. 7 of clubs is 20. 20 plus 4 is a jack of clubs. Okay. 4 plus 8 of diamonds. 34. 4 plus 34 is a queen of diamonds. Okay. So the benefit for Corey is it's funny, Corey got a jack as his benefit card. That means the benefit for Corey is flipping this into comedy. As long as it's a story, if he flips in this into comedy, he's gonna be fine. And for Anton, it's gonna be for him flipping it into a teaching lesson. But you cannot, because Queen of Diamonds is the ultimate teacher through action. But he's gonna have to fall into alignment with what he teaches. Right now, he's not in alignment with what he teaches. Again, it keeps coming back to him being in alignment with what he teaches. If Anton stays in alignment with what he teaches, he has a better chance of having a long-term success from this. Corey's long-term success is going to be through jokes. A jack. The jack can explain. The jack of clubs can explain anything away. The jack of clubs is the card of the used car salesman. It can explain anything away. So jack of clubs is the 24th card in the deck. Let's see. 24. And the Queen of Diamonds is a 38 card in the deck. All right. 24 plus 38 is 62. 62. 62 minus 52 is 10. Oh, we're right back into 10 of hearts. So the final result is a 10 of hearts, which is funny. That's the result of the year. For those of you who read cards, you know what this is. But this to be sloppy. This is just kid and scratch to the rest of y'all. But this is a way that you can burn down. You can really break down the direction of a relationship and how to resolve conflict. The result, it's funny, the final result between this is a 10 of hearts, which is a clash. So what this shows me is their relationship is only going to go completely. Is 10 of hearts all about being the center of attention, but it's also a card of a clash, of conflict. They got conflict all the way written in their cards. These two brothers could never get along. Now, it is a card of mass attention. These two dudes can make money off of each other for a long time. But when you read their cards, 10 of hearts final result, they're going to ultimately clash. They're just not. And that's why sometimes if y'all ever want to read the dynamic between you and somebody else, come to me for one of these readings. I'll tell you how that shit gonna go. I'll tell you how it's gonna go. And I've done plenty of these and I haven't been wrong yet. Because you cannot find a negative review anywhere on anything that I do. So that's what's going on here with this whole situation. So ultimately, yeah, that's right, Dana, and over on Patreon. And salute to my Patreons. If y'all don't have if my Patreons, y'all don't have any immediate questions now, you can always inbox me later on about this or about whatever it is you need to know a little bit when it comes to what we're talking about. So If you're on Patreon and you're watching later and something comes up, still hit me on the Patreon inbox and we can talk about it. So ultimately, Ten of Hearts is conflict. These two are headed to conflict, and they're always going to, it's up between these two. They're never going to come. Now, they could, I'm not going to say never. You can't say never. You cannot say never because a 10 is still, well, 10, when you take the 1 off, is an odd number because they're only single digits. So 10 is 1, 1 is odd. This is a relationship between the two of using the synergy to make money. There's definitely a money synergy. There's an exposure synergy. But there's not really a friendship synergy. And I think Anton recognized that first. Not saying Corey wanted to be friends, but Corey wanted to teach. But you cannot teach someone who's in it for the clout. That's why you got to know who you are and know who other people are and pay attention to your surroundings on a deep level. You know, cards, like, that's why if you notice, you have people in your life and you have people who you could have been co-workers with, you could have been former classmates with, and you just don't fuse. Even though you were around each other for a long time, y'all just don't, it's like, I'm over here, you over there. Everyone's cards has their own, when you have your cards, you got your own mission and you got your own path. And people come in and out that mission, people come in and out that path for positive and negative reasons, for short seasons, for long seasons. Sometimes people may come around your path and it's a completely selfish thing for themselves. And in some ways, I might even be talking to myself for some people that I know that are around me, you know? And you all know the same thing too. But to get clarity, man, that's what these cards are for. But these cards are not for going around and trying to predict how somebody gonna be and they this and they that. Let me read the card. This is why. Live your life and experience life firsthand. Don't experience life. For those of you who are in the cards, you cannot let the cards experience life for you. You got to experience life fresh. And through experiencing life in a fresh way, if through experience you have some questions, that's when you consult the cards. All right? All right? Those of you on Patreon, y'all can ask questions later on if one comes up. Those of you on YouTube, salute to y'all. We will probably be doing a late night live. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a music show later on where I'm playing music or if I'm going to do a discussion. I think because I want to do this discussion on hip hop. And then tomorrow we will have class number 6 of the history of R&B on Patreon. Those of you on the Music University level, if you're not on the Music University level of Patreon, subscribe now. Go back and watch the first 5 classes and be ready for class number 6 tomorrow on Patreon. Okay? Appreciate y'all. And we will have class number 6 tomorrow on the history of R&B on Patreon tomorrow, all right? Make sure you hit the like button and make sure that y'all leave a comment after the video. After the video's over, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, all the good shit. Real talk, humans. I appreciate you for being here. And Star and everybody else, Biz Marti, Thank y'all. And just listen, this is life game, man. Just play your cards right. Corey, take it to comedy. You're gonna flip this into some big money. Anton, if you learn how to pull back on your ego, you're gonna have a longer term success from this. But watch how you play your cards. All right? Y'all have a good one.